Have faith, let it begin. Hello everyone, my name is Angel, and welcome to another edition of Have Faith, Let It Begin. I'd like to start off by thanking GABBIE Santana for the use of our theme song, Tested. If you haven't had a chance, if you haven't had an opportunity, now is the time. Go and check out GABBIE Santana at her YouTube channel, GABBIE Santana. If you watched our live show last week, at the very end we aired one of her original songs called Ice Cream. And we got a lot of feedback, and I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. Go check out her channel. Folks, I just want to start off by saying that it has been an amazing 72 hours. The feedback I've been getting from the episode that aired, this week, which was actually should have been Monday, and I'll explain why I couldn't even figure out what day of the week it is in a second. But the reason why is because I might as well just address it now. No, I've been so everybody knows, if you're new to the show, you know that I'm expecting my first child, and for the first time, we were able to finally get a light fixture installed into the new nursery. So I couldn't do anything else until that was completed. That was actually completed last week. So yesterday, I was able to, with the help of my parents, and then of course my wife coming in, and then doing the finishing touches, we were able to kind of get the nursery in order. I built a crib, I built the changing station, and then kind of like redid the whole house a little bit and added new carpeting to certain areas. So yes, you can tell by my voice, I'm tired. And the baby's not even here yet, but it's the preparation, and it's starting to get looking really, really good. Okay, so back to what I was explaining earlier. The feedback I'm getting from the episode that aired on Monday, entitled "Cheated On," has been very, very, very overwhelming. So I'm going to continue on as a part 2 right now. One of the things I didn't get really detailed about in the first part, which I'm going to do right now, is how long the depression lasted for me. When you're in the middle of the breakup and the breakup occurs, you start to wonder if you're going to get back together with that person. You start to try to figure out what is the best option to win her or him back, I think, depending on how the relationship broke up. And every time the phone rings, you wonder if it's that person. Now, cell phones for me weren't as a high commodity as regular landlines back when my breakup occurred. So when the phone would ring, I didn't know if she was calling. So the minute the phone would ring, it was like, this could be her. Now, yeah, I had call ID, but again, you didn't have your ringtones set up for the certain people, if you do that thing. So during my depression, I should say, I found myself not eating, which is not healthy. I ate, but it was like one meal a day, and it started to affect my job a little bit, and this goes back to the episode that we said last week, leaving it at the door. It's important to try to not allow the breakup to bring you down to the point where you fall into a depression. I'm not saying that it's easy to just say, okay, we broke up, I'm not going to go into depression, yay, and that's it. I'm just saying that it's not easy. Especially when you've invested so much, years and time into the relationship, and then it ends abruptly, or blindside, or it's been a nagging situation. But when it finally comes, when it finally arrives, It hurts. It's painful. Some of you maybe are months away from a wedding. Some of you may be engaged and have already pre-planned certain events. Some of you may have been living with that person, or maybe we're just finalizing or just bought a house. For me, I was in an apartment. I was asked to move to another state for my business, which I did, and it was a way to escape. When I escaped, I went into a 2-year depression. In those 2 years, I didn't realize I was doing soul searching. When I look back at it today, I refuse in my mind, even though it was reality, yes, I was in a depression, but today I will say that I was being prepared for what's to come in the future. I believe God knew I was hurting. He knew to put me in the right spot, and He put me in an apartment directly next to a church. Look how funny things work out. Look how amazing God works. My breakup occurs. I move to Providence, Rhode Island. I have an apartment directly next to a church. I start to go to work. As I was dealing with my breakup, I had a horrendous, terrible, scary boss. If you haven't heard Scary Bosses episode, check it out. This boss would later find out that I was in a breakup, and every time I would excuse myself because I would get a personal phone call, he kind of knew it was her trying to, settle everything with our breakup, and he would listen in to my calls at the office. I didn't know that at the time, but then he would find weak spots of mine. In other words, anything that she would say to me that would hurt me, he would use that against me. And it would really make my depression worse, because now I felt as if I was the one that was wrong of the breakup. And because, if this person knew some stuff and he didn't even know me, he didn't even know my, at the time, girlfriend, I was just like, wow, I was beaten up. I started thinking that it was my weight. So I joined a gym. I got into some high debt, credit card debt, over $60,000 in credit card debt. I started to work 3 to 4 jobs. My day would consist of getting up early. If I had time to sleep, I would get up, and at 5 a.m. I'd work for a pharmacy from 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. Actually it was 12 p.m. to be honest. And then I would go, luckily it was directly across the street from my primary job. So then I would go to my primary job, and I'd work from 1 p.m. To 9 p.m. And then on my days off, if I wasn't working my primary job, I would work at the pharmacy and then go to part-time on my primary job, because when you were off, you still kind of went in the office. So I would work 5 to 12, and then I would work 12 to 4, and then I'd go home, walk my dog, and then get changed, and I'd work at Fridays as a server from 4 to cut until they cut me. And then I'd go home, try to eat, sleep for 2 hours, and then I'd get up, and I was a janitor, and I would go to different offices and clean them. And that's how I would make my bills, my rent, and all my debt. Thank God I never missed a payment. It was really tough times. Why am I telling all of you this? Well, because I told you from the beginning, if you're new to the show, I don't hold back. I don't edit my shows. The only editing I do is adding the music to the beginning and at the end. If I make a mistake, I own it. I'm telling you this because no one should go through that type of pain. Know that when a breakup occurs, it is painful, it hurts, but time heals wounds, and you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and move forward. So this is my part of the story about, why God was in my life at that moment. I shut myself out socially, so when I would go home, I didn't want anybody to be around. My parents eventually showed up for a visit, and they saw me. I'd lost like 40 pounds, and they said, "You're going to church. You should go to church." It wasn't like that they forced me. They made it so, "Hey, I want to check out the church next door. Why don't you come?" And I went. And my mom talked to a couple of the people, which I didn't know. And all of a sudden, within the next couple of days, I actually had some time off. And the door would ring, and it was people delivering me food, asking me to come over for dinner, asking if I needed anything. So I became officially a part of that church. It is the Riverside Congregation Church in Rhode Island, Riverside. They helped me get on my feet. They didn't offer me money, nor did I ask. They just brought me love and support and food and kindness, attention, an open ear. Slowly, after 2 years, I bounced back. That doesn't mean it's going to take you 2 years. It may take you a month. It may take you 2 months. I don't know. For me, it took 2 years. When I finally got up, I moved forward. I was able to date. I was able to discover that I was a good person. I was able to believe in myself. I was also able to believe that I was a good-looking man in my eyes. I used to think I was ugly. I was fat. And by dating individuals and telling me that I looked good, that I looked presentable, I was funny, I was kind, it brought back my spirits. My relationship with Christ and God started to evolve, and has never stopped since. And that was in 2004. I've always been a believer in God, but I never had the relationship that I do now because of what I went through. 3 years later, I would move back to New York. 3 years later, I would meet the woman of my dreams. 11 years later, I have a house. I have a wife. I have a dog. And I'm now getting ready to bring in my first child into the world. Yes, cheating is horrible. Cheating hurts people. Cheating changes people. Your trust goes down. Your ability to trust in people go away. But one thing is for certain. No matter what happens in life, God is always in control. And if you believe in Him, if you trust in Him, He will bring you to victory. Doesn't happen overnight. Patience and prayer. Prayer with patience always perseveres. Have faith. Let it begin.